Welcome back to Wired to Run. Summer running is not just physically harder, it can feel mentally harder too. The heat, humidity, sweat, bright sun, disrupted routines, hydration struggles, and sensory overload can all pile up pretty fast. So, this episode is not about telling runners to push harder, it's about adapting. And summer running is about surviving, adjusting, and staying in the game, not proving yourself every time you lace up.
All I can hear in my head now is summer running. I will not last.
Summer running. I'll take a pass. I feel like I'm on like what's your line or something? Whose line is it
No,
anyway?
who's
Anyway, but summer
Please
summer.
keep listening.
Please keep listening. But it's running in the summertime. It hits different. You're working on getting stronger in the fall, fall and winter and spring, and then summer hits you, and especially in Florida, it's like it's rough, and suddenly your pace feels like it's impossible. So, I know personally, my motivation disappears, and my brain is asking me why I ever thought this was a good idea, especially when marathon training starts in July. But we're talking about how we can help runners and walkers, athletes feel like they're not losing their fitness. And when the conditions change, how we can help them out.
Yeah, it's not so much, during the summer, it's not that you're getting lazy. It's just that it kind of adds a few extra steps between you and your run.
Exactly. Because summer adds extra friction. You've got to do a lot more planning. There's a lot more discomfort and definitely sensory input, at least for me. There's extra hydration strategies and decisions you have to make. And certainly, at least for us, schedule disruptions. We got to juggle a lot more with our schedule with the prime heat of the day. And there's more chances to talk ourselves out of going. I mean, that's what we struggled with last summer.
I mean, during the summer, it really makes you start thinking, swimming. That's what I need to do.
Aqua jogging.
Oh, no, just swimming, relaxing in the pool on a floaty, little drink in the hand.
That's true. That's true. Our buddy Troy likes the aqua jogging, so shout out to Troy.
Yes.
But
Yeah, definitely, during the summer, and I know for myself, some of the things that can overstimulate me or even just like bother me is like when, you're running, the sweat dripping into your eyes,
Mhm.
you're going to have to put sunscreen on and it can get sticky. It just doesn't feel that great. You've got the bright sunlight depending on when you actually go out. Those are a few of mine. What are some of yours?
Definitely clothes sticking to my body. I hate that. And sweaty socks. Getting blisters and things like that. Those things bother me.
How about bugs?
Nature's protein.
During the summer, it's like all the bugs come out.
Yeah, you swallow the
and they fly into different areas. It could be your mouth, your nose, your
I hate
ears.
that. It's like that's the worst thing I think out of even worse than blisters, swallowing a bug or yeah. Mm-mm.
So I don't even mind swallowing the bug because then the bug's gone. It's when you have like that little gnat that like follows you for like 2 miles, especially when you're running like, on a trail, you're running outside. It's
Yeah. I definitely don't like the overheating. I think one of the things that bothers me the most is I get heat-induced headaches
Mhm.
or migraines. If I don't get that right combination of electrolytes and enough fluids in me, I get that horrible overheated migraine or headache later
Yeah.
in the day that I cannot shake sometimes for 24 hours. That's the worst in the summertime.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to be talking about hydration a little bit later too, but not easy. But honestly, sometimes the hardest part isn't even the run because once you're out there, it's fine. Um, what's really the hardest part is how uncomfortable everything feels before you can actually settle into the run.
Yeah, we have to stop acting like the summer running is the same as winter running. it's not the same assignment, you know? Not the same.
Yeah, definitely. So, for ADHD runners, summer running can really become sensory overload. And sometimes that sensory overload is disguised as low motivation.
Yeah, I think that I struggle with this. I really don't wanna go for my mid-afternoon runs because I have to do that with juggling with the kid drop off in the summertime, for camp and things like that. I sometimes have to run on my lunch and it's 95 degrees and it's full sun and I don't it feels like low motivation, but it's not. It's just kind of overwhelm and
Mhm.
sensory overload with the heat at the peak of the day.
What's interesting about like the heat, humidity, um, it really changes sometimes how we should approach the run, especially when it comes to pace.
That's true. Jeff Galloway heat rule, and he taught that once the temperature rises above 60 degrees, runners should slow down about 30 seconds per mile for every 5-degree increase. So if your normal pace feels rough in the summer, that doesn't automatically mean you lose fitness. So keep that in mind. It may mean your body's just working harder to do the same job. So, to kind of give you an example, if it's 65 degrees, slow down about 30 seconds per mile. So if you're somewhere like possibly like in the UK, it might be 65 degrees in the summer, 65 degrees in summer, like in maybe New York in the morning. Slow down about 30 seconds per mile. If it's 80 degrees, slow down about 2 minutes per mile. 90 degrees, slow down about 3 minutes per mile.
And it's over 90 degrees, just don't run. Okay.
If
Okay. Maybe not, but
it's over 90 degrees, you're a Floridian.
but truly, when it starts heating up during the summer, we really should stop treating our summer pace like a personal failure, because the heat really changes the math of the run.
You got to put the pace aside. Um, in the summer, your watch may say you slowed down, but the effort actually might be the same or even harder. If you kind of have to look at it that way. And ADHD runners can be very all or nothing. I'm very, very all or nothing myself. So if the pace looks slower, the brain may say, "Gosh, I'm out of shape," or "This doesn't count," or "I should stop," or "I'm falling behind."
But I mean, truly, summer running, we should have a different definition of what a successful run is, because in the summer, it's not always a season to chase a pace, but it's really just a season to protect the habit, to keep showing up.
So let's discuss hydration without making it overly complicated. I know some folks with ADHD kind of ask themselves, did I hydrate? Did I think about hydrating? ADHD runners often know hydration matters, but remembering to do it is a whole different thing.
Somebody tells me you typically don't have that problem. You've got that big igloo cooler that you take with you.
Yes, I do. I take hydration very seriously because of the post-run headaches and things like that. But I do have a blue igloo cooler filled with ice. You would go out and buy that giant bag of
Yes.
ice for me at Publix, and I'd throw my backup Nathan's bladder in there filled with liquid IV and put it at the very bottom under the ice in my trunk, so that my second half of my long runs I would have that in there. So, as you called it, with my trunk or treat
This is very
of
true.
my fuel, my little bin of fuel.
You have backups to your backup.
Backups to my backups. I'm overprepared. It's just like episode 1, the overprepared, underprepared paradox. But, but really, I mean, if I didn't, I probably wouldn't be paying attention to my hydration. And I know that I failed in that space many, many times during
Mhm.
races and training runs where I didn't bring enough fluids with me and I suffered because of it.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool is there's some tips that we can offer, such
Hmm.
as planning your running routes around different hydration stop strategies. I know for me, I like running where there's a Dunkin' Donuts nearby.
Every episode with the Dunkin'
Cold
Donuts.
brew, you know. It's caffeine, it's cold, it's mainly water.
Mhm. I was gonna say water fountains, but some I've noticed some runners on the trail will hide water bottles behind bushes. Like, they'll just deposit little water bottles, but then I'd be like, "Wa warm water bottles." I would not, like, wanna drink warm water. Be gross, I don't know. Why are you laughing?
Because you just wanna make you just wanna be careful that you're picking up 1, you wanna make sure you're picking up your own water bottle and not someone else's water bottle,
Yeah.
and 2, if you're running outside, especially on a trail or something, make sure it's a water
Why? What would it be?
a pee bottle.
What who would pee in a bottle on the trail?
I'm sure there's guys that do.
God, that's gross. Oh. Well, I guess it don't bring electrolytes that are yellow. Oh god, that's so
I'm
gross.
just I'm just
Oh
saying.
my gosh, this took a really weird turn. Okay, anyway, um
We'll be cutting that part.
oh gosh, so weird. Keep electrolytes near your shoes or running gear.
Well, I mean, if you keep your water bottle or whatever it is that you take with you by your shoes, by your car keys, whatever you're gonna have to take with you out the door, there's less chance that you're going to forget to take it with
That's a
you.
good point. Yeah. Freezing a water bottle the night before. I've done that.
Mhm.
I buy these I think I mentioned in a previous episode,
Oh, the ice cubes
ice
or
cubes.
the
They look like softballs.
yeah, I mean, they look more like they're smaller than like a billiard ball,
Yeah,
but they're, like, bigger than a golf ball.
they're close to like a billiard ball size.
Yeah.
They come in like packs. It's like six of them. I got them on Amazon. And my friend Holly told me about this because she said ice cubes are like sharp, the size, ice cubes are, pointy. But if you get but if you get, these round ball type shaped ice cubes, they're round and smooth.
I was gonna say, definitely make sure that you practice with them
Yeah.
or ensure that, maybe the first time you go out for a
Yeah.
run, depending on the length
Yeah.
of the run, maybe throw a couple in there
Yeah, don't for all
and
six.
yeah. And kinda see how they last,
Yeah.
depending on your environment, depending on your run, depending on your pace. And then, as you get more accustomed to them, or if you know that, hey, with this run, my pace, the distance, 2
Mhm.
aren't gonna do it, throw in a 3rd one. You can always
Mhm.
build up.
I mean, definitely they melt fast in Florida. So, I mean, if you throw your backup bladder in with, your ice chest or whatever, it'll stay cold and those ice cubes will stay intact. But if you put your hydration vest on you and you're running for a good hour or two, they're melted already in Florida.
And one thing that I think you found out too is as they melt,
Hmm.
they might dilute. So sometimes you may have to either add additional electrolyte
The
to the
ice
water
cube.
or, and you've done that too, where you've, whatever electrolyte that you're using or whatnot, you'll actually freeze it
Hmm.
into the ice cube. So as it's melting, it's also adding that to the bladder or to whatever
Absolutely.
uh,
My friend Holly,
container.
who's a dietitian, she had given me that idea to actually add my electrolytes to the ice cube mold so that as it melts, it's not diluting the electrolytes.
But again, no matter how well you plan on your water, your electrolytes, the ice, it doesn't really help if you don't actually drink it.
Mhm.
And I think that's also part of the issue that we run into, even myself sometimes. Like I'll bring my water with me and then I'll be like, okay, I'm doing a 3 mile run, a 5 mile run, and I know I've got X amount of water. So I may not start drinking it until I'm too far into
Mhm.
the run. and then I end up finishing the run with like half a thing of water.
Yeah.
So definitely, you know, before, during, after, um,
I'm
drink up.
I violate that rule all the time. I do not drink enough water before for sure, and I usually very, very busy the day before my long runs. And then I realize I've only had maybe 30 ounces of water the day before, and I'm like very dehydrated on the morning of my run.
Yeah, I feel like we could have a whole episode on just hydration because
Mhm.
not only during the summer months, but during winter months, during
Mhm.
every month. And I feel too sometimes, when do you start drinking the
Mhm.
water? How often? Because
Mhm.
again, one thing that I don't like is when I'm like drinking a lot and
Mhm.
then I have so much I feel like in my belly that I'm just like sloshing
Yeah,
around,
you don't wanna overhydrate
and
either.
then that becomes uncomfortable.
You
So
know your body.
it's
Mhm.
definitely trial and error.
Definitely try different things, listen to your body for sure. You don't want to overdo it. I think there's a condition where you can actually, if you don't have enough salt or electrolytes in your body, it's a very serious condition. So you have to be very, very careful. Definitely do your research. I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you the details about that, but definitely do your research about the right balance of water and electrolytes.
Yeah, but definitely for the
Mhm.
ADHD runner and really for a lot of us, just because of life and how busy we
Mhm.
all are, hydration can sometimes be
Mhm.
something that we forget to do
Yeah.
until it's too late. So it's definitely something that even if we have to put a reminder on our phone,
Yes.
um, to go off at certain times to drink.
It's a good reminder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every certain number of miles, maybe. Definitely think about using a handheld bottle hydration vest, even for shorter summer runs. I know in the summertime, if I'm only have like a 4 mile run in the summer, and I'll bring my hydration
Hmm.
vest. Um, and I'm a slower runner. I know for those folks that can do like a 4 mile run in no time, you might not need to bring something with you, but I'm slow, so I need to bring it with me. But just keep that in mind,
But
depending on how fast you run.
kind of going back off that, even if you're not to take more gear than you need, but if you know that you're training for a certain distance and you're going to need to have that, backpack, that Nathan, that Camelback, whatever, even if you don't necessarily need it for that particular training run, you're going to need it for the actual race. So actually still makes sense to,
Train with it.
yeah, train with it, fill it up
Mhm.
the way that you would during the actual race. And even if you don't use all of it, you're still getting practice
Mm.
running and walking with that gear that you're going to actually have on race day.
And as always,
Nothing
nothing new
new
on
on race
race day.
day.
So sometimes the issue isn't not that we don't know what to do, it's that we need to do the thing to be visible, easy, and already set up. I know that's a big, big deal for us ADHDers. It's we gotta have it right there for us, or we're gonna forget. Out of sight, out of mind sometimes. So having it there, visible, easy, ready, set up, just there to go.
Removing the friction.
In this next segment, we wanted to share our top 10 cool tools for hot runs. These are the things that can help reduce heat, overstimulation, and the mental friction of summer running. You don't really need the fancy gear to be a runner, but the right gear can remove one or more barriers between you and getting out the door.
Absolutely, because summer running is already hard enough. So for us ADHD runners, the heat is not just a physical challenge,
Hmm.
but it's also a sensory challenge. Again, like I was saying earlier, sweat dripping in my eyes,
Hmm.
face overheating, the clothes sticking. Oh my gosh, I so do not like that. Your brain is just feeling overstimulated because of everything that's going on around you, even before you hit that first mile. So just a few simple tools and can really help.
It's true. One thing I found with the Dopey challenge this year, it was my very first Dopey challenge in 2026. It I think it was not expected to be as hot as it was. It was in the 80s on marathon day. We knew that it was going to be a bit warmer a couple days ahead. So I had bought these TMPK instant cold packs, and they came in a big box. And those are the cold packs that when you're injured, at a medical tent, you can pound it or, kind of crack it and it gets cold. And it can get pretty cold. So you don't want to maybe put it directly on your skin. I put it right on my skin because I needed the cold. Stephanie, she put it on my head, she put it on my neck, and I put it in my my sports bra just to stay cool enough because I was so overheated. That thing was awesome. So my number 10, counting down, was absolutely fantastic. It was one of those things that you hope you don't need, but I was very glad that I had it. So that was great. Um, Number 9 was the Squoosh armband. That was really cool. Coach Twigs told me about that. So it's a little armband that has like a terry cloth um, piece of cloth, and you can wet it and kind of like wring it out. I used that during the summer months before my first marathon, so that was really helpful. So I like that one. And then one thing I discovered right before Dopey race weekend was the Two Toms Skin on Skin Hydrogel Squares. That is for sweaty and blistery feet, and nothing ruins a summer run faster than a hot spot turning into a blister. And I'm one who gets a lot of hot spots that turn into blisters. Those tiny things can save a whole run. So they're almost like little gelatin squares. They come in a jar and they feel kind of funny. It's very weird texture, but they almost feel like an extra skin barrier. It's not like a moleskin. It's almost like a jelly. It's really weird, but you don't even feel it when you put it on your skin. And I did not get a single blister. I had
Mhm.
6 blisters during my marathon in 2025. And Dopey Weekend 2026, I did not have a single blister because those things
Mhm.
saved me. So that's my number 8.
Yep, absolutely. Number 7 is the rabbit ice bandana. Definitely, cooling the neck can make the whole run feel so much more manageable. So this bandana, it can help take the edge off when your neck and your face start overheating.
Mhm.
Okay, and then number 6 is going to be the Head Sweats Performance Ice Hat. It's a hat that's designed really for hot runs where keeping your head cool really matters. And if you're anything like me, anytime I just feel like my head is overheating, it just seems so much more difficult. And keeping my head cooler um, definitely helps take the edge off, and it removes that my brain is melting feeling. So
Oh, yeah, that's
cool.
the one that you could fill with ice. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so cooling hat, absolutely. Um, one of the top things that helps me. And then number 5 would be the Mission cooling hoodie and cooling towels. So again, it's a very practical, affordable cooling option that can be used either before, during, or after a hot run. And kind of along the lines of the other two, having that cooling towel, it's one of the easier running tools to keep in the car. You can put it in the freezer, you can put it by the
Mhm.
front door, and it's just there to help just cool you down.
Yeah, we keep those Mission, cooling hoodies and, towels in the Igloo cooler, during our training runs, and we also use them when we go to the Disney parks, so we like those. Mm. Number 4, I put as the Knox Light Vest for my early morning runs, and you've worn it too. We've traded off. So these are for runners who move their runs earlier to beat the heat. So if you're going for your run before sunrise or in the evening when it's dark, to avoid that heat, visibility becomes part of the summer survival plan. So I absolutely love my Knox Gear light up vest. It's really cool. It changes colors. It can flash. It's like a running light. It's unbelievable. You can get the flashlight for it, and that flashlight is bright.
Yeah,
So
it really is, and it's actually pretty comfortable to wear too. So
yeah,
it's very lightweight. It doesn't really obstruct at
and
all.
you can
So
see it from pretty far
yeah.
away. I forget what the dimensions are, or the distance or whatever.
Hmm.
It's like a quarter mile or something like that. It's absolutely amazing. But It's one of my favorite things to use in the summertime. So number three, Hoka lightweight performance shirts. They're very breathable clothing, lightweight, can make a big difference when sweating. Sticky fabric becomes a sensory trigger, but I absolutely love their material. It's very, very lightweight. It doesn't stick to you, which is a big win. Um,
Yeah, I was going to say, even though there's a lot of different brands, I definitely would say stick with a running brand because the materials are usually more durable.
mhm,
They're usually tested more. They're designed for runners. They may be a little bit more expensive, but you know that they're going to work properly. But like you said, if there's other brands that you know that you want to try, definitely test them out, and then whichever brand feels comfortable for you, just stick with that brand. But yeah, the right shirt definitely helps.
Definitely. I'm a Hoka girl all the way. I wear Hokas to run in with my running shoes, and definitely their shirts. And really, the wrong shirt can make a hot run feel absolutely unbearable. And the right shirt can remove one or more reasons your brain wants to quit. So, number two, I will warn you, is a pricey option.
And this is not sponsored, by the way, but
Oh,
no,
none of these are
but
sponsored.
but number two,
It's a winner.
I yeah, I've seen how it has changed your run.
Oh my gosh.
So it's worth every single penny, especially if you're running during the summer
hmm
in the heat.
I wasn't a believer. You had got it for me as an early birthday present for the marathon. We literally got it like 2 days before my marathon for the Dopey Challenge because I was totally freaking out about the heat. And I was trying to do everything possible for me to not drop out of the marathon, knowing I had 4 days of running in a row. And I had not trained in that type of heat because it was a pretty cool winter, and even the fairly cool fall. So he had gotten me an Omius cooling visor. It's a visor that has these little openings, these little squares, and it has these little pegs that pushes through. It's very, very delicate. It's actually very cool to the touch. And when it gets wet, it holds on to the cool temperature. I didn't actually believe it, but I saw all of these reviews about it. And I purchased, I figured, if it doesn't work or whatever, I tried it, but it is expensive. I thought I'm last ditch effort, anything to keep me cool. And what you do is just pour water over your head and I honestly think that aside from the pacing that Stephanie provided,
Mhm.
that thing kept me cool. And Stephanie dumping water on my head kept those pegs cool and saved my marathon. I will never do a hot run without that Omius visor.
Yeah, I will put a little exception addendum to what we said earlier about nothing new on race day. But I will say that if
Yeah.
you were expecting the temperature of any race to be one thing, but then it turns out to be a lot hotter than you thought it was going to be,
hmm
then you may want to possibly try something new, such as this visor or a specific type of cooling
yeah.
towel or a specific cooling bandana, something that will help to reduce that heat factor because
Yeah.
there are some things where on race day or even during certain training cycles that we're just not prepared for.
hmm
There's no way to know that something's going to happen. And if you're going down to Disney to do a Disney race, especially whether it's marathon weekend or princess weekend, the temperatures can be completely different,
Yeah.
even though they're what, a month apart?
Yeah. I mean, it was the lesser of two evils. It was like, okay, I'm going to risk possibly not finishing or trying this new thing. And I know we both said nothing new on race day. I did do a little test trial run on it just to see how it would feel the couple days before the marathon, and it didn't bother me. It didn't chafe. It didn't slip. So I knew that it was going to work. I didn't know it was going to work for all of those miles, but it did, and it was fantastic. It was the best investment ever. So it's the kind of product that may not make Florida feel like fall or winter, but it lowers that overheated and overstimulated feeling. So, and that really can be the difference between skipping that run and getting through it, or finishing a race and not finishing and taking a DNF. And then my final number one is literally a deal breaker for me. I have to have my Nathan's Quick Start and hydration flasks. I'm a sensory girl. I did have a different brand. I don't even remember what brand it was. It was just something off of Amazon, and it did chafe a lot under my arms, and it was horrible. And I hated it. I think it was in the garage somewhere. I wore it maybe a few times. I also have the Pinnacle, and the Pinnacle material is so soft. And it has a lot of pockets. So I had the Pinnacle and the Quick Start, but the Quick Start has a few pockets, and it's easy to just, sling over your shoulders and just buckle and go. So I'm a big proponent of that. And I think I got it for Prime Day for like, I think it was like full price. It was like $100 and some, and I got it for like $70 or something.
And I think Prime Day is coming up
Oh,
soon.
that's true. So I got it for a really good price. But you can find options at all different price points. So it doesn't have to be super expensive products. You can find things at all different price points. But these are just some options, some cool tools on hot runs that have worked for us. So definitely check some of those things out.
Yeah, and again, I will say, while there are less expensive options and there's many different companies, if you're looking for something running specific, if you go and get a running brand, it is going to be more tailored to what we're trying to do. That's kind of like my thoughts, that I would definitely try to stick with the major brands. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can find, but if you do find a less expensive option that works for you, then that's great. But I know for myself, sometimes I'll try the lesser expensive options, only to find myself going, you know what, I should have bought the more expensive option, because
Mm-hmm.
it lasts longer and it's just more designed for what we're trying to use it for.
We also want to invite a few of our previous guests to share some of their cool tools, as well as any tips that they want to share about summer running.
Well, hello everyone. Troy here from Spring Hill, Florida, with my ADHD Runner's Summer Survival Guide tip. If there's one product I absolutely cannot live without, it's Tailwind Endurance Fuel. Specifically, I love the raspberry caffeinated flavor. I've tried just about every kind of fuel out there, and Tailwind is the only one that consistently works for me without causing any digestive issues. It gives me my calories, my hydration, and electrolytes all in one bottle. It mixes crystal clear with water and keeps things simple, which, let's be honest, is a huge plus. Less thinking, more running. As for my number one running tip, get out as early as you safely can. Pre-dawn if possible. Summer running isn't the time to chase personal records. The heat and humidity are no joke. Focus on effort and time on your feet, not pace. Slow down, hydrate, and give yourself permission to run easier than you do in the fall and winter. The goal isn't to win summer. The goal is to survive summer so you can crush fall. Because remember, summer training equals fall PRs. Put in the work now, and you'll cash those fitness checks in the weather when it cools down. All right, happy running. Stay safe out there this summer.
Hey guys, it's Stephanie. My best trick for running in the summer heat, and granted, I live in Orlando, so I practice this about 360 days a year, is to fill your handheld or your hydration bladder halfway with water and then lay it flat in the freezer and freeze it. Now, if you're doing it with the bladder, blow air into the tube to inflate the bladder as much as you can. That way it gets the water out of the hose and away from the opening where the water comes out, so you don't have to wait for it to melt before you can drink. Yep, ask me how I know that one. So when you're about to go out for a run, you take your water handheld or your bladder, you fill it the rest of the way with water, and you've got cold water. And bonus, if it's the backpack type, hydration backpack, you've got a little bit of an air conditioner. So, yeah, I have to drink cold water. Warm water just makes me just, ugh. Anyways, have a great summer. Listen to your body and be safe. Bye.
Hi, this is Amy in Nashville. And for workouts in the summer months, I cannot leave the house without a cooling towel and a headband. If there's anything my ADHD hates, it is me feeling sweaty and gritty and sweat in my eyes. So, sweatband to keep that sweat out of my eyes and a cooling towel that I can wipe down with, use to cool myself off with, and so that I can keep getting out there and keep running.
Hi, this is Heather from episode 10, and here's some of my tips for dealing with hot summer weather. So, summer running in Florida. I think everyone knows the basics. Run early in the morning or late in the evening. I think the biggest thing is to make sure you're hydrated, and that definitely starts the night before, if not a couple nights before. Then my go-to products are definitely the Salt Stick electrolyte capsules, because I'm not super big on electrolyte drinks. Some good sunscreen. I prefer the spray kind because I don't have anyone to put it on for me. And then sunglasses. I've been a big fan of Oakley for many years, but everyone has their different preference. I wear different ones kind of depending on what I'm wearing or my mood. And then I always carry with me a Camelback of water, and pickle juice is my go-to mid-run electrolyte, and then of course more of the Salt Stick electrolytes. Stay safe out there, stay cool, and good luck on your summer training. Remember, summer miles mean fall PRs.
This is awesome. Our guests are so cool. Thank you so much, guys. They were some great ideas.
And then speaking of summer running, another debate that we might have sometimes is it better to complete your runs during the morning or in the evening?
Mm.
I know for myself, I'm more of an evening runner. And part of that is just because of scheduling. And for me, it's just easier to get out the door at the end of the day. But I believe you are more of a early morning runner.
I'm a morning runner. Yep. I like it because it's a, bit cooler temperatures in the mornings here down in Florida. Less sun. I find that there's less sun. And the run's done before the day gets crazy and chaotic. Like, I kind of feel proud of my run, getting it out of the way, and I can conquer the day. And it helps me a lot with my mood. I feel like it's a mood booster. It's a dopamine booster for me. But there are some cons to that, because I definitely want to provide balanced feedback on why morning runs can be good and challenging at the same time. It's hard to wake up that early, and I'm fortunate that I have some running buddies. I have you and my running girlfriends that when we make a running date, especially on a long run Saturday or Sunday, knowing that they're waiting for me, it's very motivating to get out the door and meet up with them. It's a lot harder when I know that I don't have to meet up with them, and then I end up getting up and going at 9 a.m. and it's hot and it's sunny, and I end up bumping into a lot of the challenges we mentioned earlier. And then executive dysfunction, I end up in that predicament, like I just mentioned. Getting gear ready the night before is a pain in the butt for me. I'm not a big fan of spending time the night before getting my bladder filled and putting the liquid IV in, put it in the fridge or the freezer, water bottles and stuff, and the hydration flasks, and getting my fuel ready. It's a pain in the butt. If I had an evening run, I'd have all day to get it done, but rushing around the night before, it gets crazy, but it's worth it to me. And then the I will just go later trap. That's why I get my girlfriends to meet me, because it's so easy to go, yeah, I'll do it later in the afternoon. So, yep.
No, I get that. I think for me, the reason why I really like running in the evening is because I just feel like I'm more awake at that time. I don't necessarily have to wake up super early to get dressed, get out the door, and get my run done. I'm already awake. I'm already like, I'm not going to be going to bed for another couple of hours anyway. So I'm already wide awake. I also find usually my hydration's going to be better because I've got all day to hydrate. Doesn't
Hmm.
always happen, but I have all day to hydrate, so I know I'm good there. Um, Also, with the stress of the day, sometimes you can kind of run off that stress if you have a bad day at work. If it's just crazy hectic, you just it's life. You can go for a run, get all that energy out, and then by the time you come back home, take a shower, relax. It's almost bedtime, and you're tired. You're gonna sleep really well that night.
Hmm.
But some of the hard things about running at night is one, yeah, sometimes I'm not as good with my hydration strategy, so I'm not as prepared as I thought I was going to be. Um, One big thing for me is like fuel, um, eating. I feel like I'm really good with my breakfast, my lunch, a couple snacks during the day. But then by the time I leave work or I'm trying to get out the house, I almost feel like, okay, I'm kind of hungry now.
Like you were tonight, you're like, I already ate on the way home. I just
S-
don't feel like
yeah.
eating. I
So
don't feel like running now because you have a full stomach.
exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, how am I going to work this out?
Hmm.
Whereas if you run in the morning, usually I'm like really cool with just eating something really quick, small, get out the door because when I get back home, I can eat at that point. So it's kind of funny. The hydration could be better
Hmm.
in the evening, but my fuel can be much worse. Um, and then just your schedule can interfere. So if you've got things going on,
Hmm.
you may not have the time to run. And as you get older, it just seems like there's more and more things that can jumble up that schedule.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to get it done in the morning. Um, and then
Yeah, the motivation's gone. You're like, you have the best of intentions leaving work and then you hit traffic and you're like, oh, I don't feel like going for a run. I totally get it.
yeah.
I'm drained by the end of the day after work. I'm like, I don't feel like going. Um, but really, the best time to run is the time you actually can repeat. It has to be repeatable. So that's the best time. If you could do a couple days a week in the morning, and then there's a couple of days that work better for you in the evening, and you can flip flop it, that's great.
So as we really think about summer running, I think it's really important that we try to lower our expectations without quitting.
Yeah.
And it's really tough for for a lot of us runners, especially ADHD runners, because again, I've said it before, running is not something that's easy. It's really a difficult thing that we love doing, and it's very metric driven. So we're always looking at pace. We're looking at miles. So it's really hard for us to sometimes lower those expectations, but really it's all about adapting to the environment and not giving up. So some ways that we can adapt is if we know, hey, my schedule says it's supposed to be a 45 minute run, or hey, I don't have 45 minutes to get this done, but I have 20 minutes. You know what? Go out there, get 20 minutes in. Um, Even a little bit is better than
Yep.
none.
20 minutes is better than none.
Switching our run walk intervals. So if you don't use run walk intervals, it's okay. Add run walk intervals. If you have a run walk interval that usually works for you, so if you're like, yep, I can always do 1-to-1, 1 minute running, 1 minute walking, but it's super hot out there, it's super humid. It's okay to adjust those run walk intervals to maybe 30-30s, 45-45, whatever it is that works for you. And then, um, not my favorite, but sometimes we just have to do this. And same thing like in Florida, because during the summer, it rains. So sometimes you just have to head indoors. If it's too hot to run outside, go indoors and do the run on a treadmill.
The treadmill. Yay. I've done a couple half marathons on the treadmill. Hmm. Yeah. Not my favorite. Um, yeah, I think for me, a couple of ways of adapting by, I guess, lowering my expectations without officially quitting in the summer is um, running by my effort instead of my pace, just listening to my body and taking more walk breaks. There's been quite a few 17, 18 milers that I mostly walked instead of running because it was just so darn hot. And then choosing a shady route, like I've chosen different trails that were more shaded. Um, I prefer, maybe some neighborhoods that, I really enjoy and it's not shaded, but I take the trails instead because of the shade. And then, letting go of the watch for the day. I prefer Garmin because I'm all about paces and stuff, but I just did this recently. But in the summer months, there's times where I don't bring my Garmin and I just totally check out and go, I don't want the pressure. I do not want the pressure of looking at my time because I know me. I will get so hard on myself, even knowing that it's summertime, even knowing what I'm capable of, and I will get really in my head about it. So, yeah, I have to leave the Garmin at home sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just better just get out there. You do it to keep the maintenance up, to keep the habit going. You go out and you do a familiar route.
Yep.
And you just put one foot in front of the other.
Lowering the bar is not the same as lowering your standards. Sometimes it's just how you stay in the game.
The only issue with ADHD brains like ours is that we tend to want to win on every run, but sometimes it's just about getting out there and getting those maintenance miles in. And the maintenance miles, they're not wasted miles, but they keep that relationship with running. It keeps us in the groove. It keeps that relationship growing with running, even when the weather, the motivation, our schedule, or even our mental health isn't cooperating with that goal.
It's true. Not every run needs to be posted, although I like to post them to keep myself accountable. And it's good to kind of look back on them. But some runs are just about staying connected to yourself. Some of them are about emotional regulation. And some are about proving to yourself that you can still show up for yourself in the summer months.
Maintenance miles are that bridge between where you are and where you're trying to go.
It's true.
And what's really cool is music can also be another tool in the summer running survival kit, just like hydration, cooling towels, visors, the right shoes. So do you have a surviving the summer song that runs me, that gets you through those hot, humid runs?
I do, actually. One of my favorite songs to run to in the summertime is Up All Night by Cannons. It's a really chill, cool kind of song. I like to run to it in the evening when I do a couple evening runs, and it's kind of like a float song for me. So I think I'm going to add that to our songs that run us playlist on Spotify that we have, our community playlist. But it reminds me of like an evening summer run song. It's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
How about you? You have one?
I have a couple.
You have a couple?
Yeah. So one that shows one side of me is Summer Song by Joe Satriani. It's an instrumental.
From the 90s?
From the 90s. Well, it's funny when you said Up All Night by Cannons, I'm thinking the band Slaughter. So all you 90s hard rock fans, that's where my mind went to. But Joe Satriani's Summer Song, it's on the Extremist album. Awesome guitar instrumental song. So it's in the name of the song. It just has such a really cool, upbeat, happy tempo. But the one song that also came to mind, which is actually on my marathon and half marathon playlist, that is always somewhere in the middle of the run, is the song Cruise by Florida Georgia Line, FGL. And again, it just sounds like summer. great song, positive lyrics, and it actually reminds me of you because it says, "Baby, you're a song."
Oh, that's sweet. I like that. So what would you say those songs would be in terms of one of the 7 categories?
So I would say Summer Song is probably a float song because it's just one of those songs where I just kind of just lose myself in the music and I kind of forget um, that I'm running.
Mhm.
And then Cruise might actually be, I don't know, sometimes it could be an emotional ambush song. Um,
Hmm.
it's one of those things where it's like I hear the song and I just, think about like you and me being in the car and,
Driving to
driving
the
down.
beach.
That's right.
I knew you're going there.
So yeah, so it's not an emotional I'm going to cry song, but it's like one of those songs where it's like I can't wait to see her at the finish line.
Oh, that's very, very sweet. I like that. So you got a float song and you got an emotional ambush song for your surviving the summer songs that run you.
And I get brownie points because it reminds me of you.
Oh, thank you. It's not the peanut butter jelly song that
No.
me and Coach Tom vibe over. So
But again, that
let's go.
last
Let's
episode
do the
kind of proves that you're a morning workout person
Yes, a
because if
4:45
if you're
a.m.
getting to a 4:45
That's
class,
true. That's true.
God bless you.
But yeah, it seems like a lot of my summer songs are float songs. So, but definitely Cannon's has that really cool future funk vibe, and Michelle Joy's voice is really cool. It has that awesome, smooth 80s, 70s vibe. So, yeah, I'm going to
That's cool.
definitely go for a run now this evening and listen to Up All Night. For me, that song is less about speed and more about getting into the right headspace. And it makes a hot run feel less miserable and a lot more doable. So,
No, absolutely, and that's what we need during the summer months. I think having a lot more float songs, um, things that will kind of take our minds off of the heat and suffering makes perfect sense. So we've shared a couple of our summer survival songs that run us. So what are some summer survival songs that run you? Because music can be one more tool in the summer running survival kit. Sometimes it's the cooling towel. Sometimes it's the hydration flask. Sometimes it's just that one song that gets into your brain and allows it to stop arguing with you long enough for your feet to start moving.
instead of sending us your song, add it to our Songs That Run Us playlist in Spotify. Come see us on our Instagram page at Wired to Run Pod and check out the link in the bio or on Facebook at Wired to Run Podcast. And we have our link to our Spotify community playlist, Wired to Run Podcast Songs That Run Us, and add your summer songs that run you.
Summer may not be the season where every run feels strong, but it can be the season where you learn how to adapt, protect the habit, and keep showing up without beating yourself up. You're not failing because you slow down. You're just learning how to run the season that you're actually in. So stay cool, give yourself grace, and remember the maintenance miles still count. So let's lace up, lock in, and go the distance.
As you all know, we are just here sharing our experiences as ADHD runners. Don't take anything here as medical or mental health advice. Always seek out advice from your own medical and mental health professionals.